Well, guess who left the microphone on since the last time the camera was recording? Yes, I've done it again. I really must move the camera mount over to the other end of the table so I can see the little red LED. And I've moved the bin out of the way. Right, Jadlams. Now that they've got my correct email address, don't know what happened because I remember getting emails to start with, but it was a case of a .com instead of a .co.uk. Anyway, I've rectified it now, but I couldn't change it while I had anything in my basket, so I had to buy the stuff, which then means a confirmation email went to an email address that doesn't exist or is someone else's, because I tried to take ownership of it and I couldn't. Anyway, it's here. What we got? Something about tax rates and VAT, but they're not 20%. Who knows? Right, so we have a DPM Design Preservation Models Terra Surplus Window Warehouse Kit. The Walthers Cornerstone High Voltage Transmission Towers, or as we call them, pylons. A DPM, again, same manufacturer, Design Preservation Models. 3-in-1 modular kit. That's basically a bit like those Walthers modular kits that I've been buying, but you actually get 117 useful pieces to adapt existing buildings or whatever. That was £17, which is quite a bit cheaper than everyone else's. And I bought Design Preservation Models 36200 rectangular window industrial building. Now I think that is when we can play around with the different designs. So this is the kit of parts, so you can use that to, so you could buy another kit and knock something up and scratch build roofs and such like, or I think you can use it to extend other buildings and things, so I might pick another one of those up as a basket filler sometimes. So this is the Design Builder Pack rectangular window, not a very big box. So you've got the buildings there. I think Digger might have this one, I'm not sure, but you can build any of those three out of this kit. Now how much bits you get left over I don't know, hence buying the odds and sods pack, so that they might be able to manufacture another building out of it. And the other kit was this, which again I'm going to probably kit bash a bit because it is a bit old fashioned looking, so it might be, you know, some apartments converted industrial building, or depends on where it ends up. It's probably more the 1930s 40s candidate, or if it was to go on the other side, so it can sort of fit in. I could modernise it and make it look like apartments that have been done up in the 90s. I can use it in the 30s 40s as an English building or an American building. But again, you can see you've got all the parts that marry up with this one, so I could possibly, you know, do a little bit of wizardry with it and change it into a bigger building or two smaller buildings. And the other one is the Walthers pylons, because they actually look like the English pylons. They're slightly better looking, I think, than the Hornby ones. I've got several packs of the Hornby ones, which are a bit low. They are based, I think, on a 1930s 40s one that was in the window shot of the old offices, hence they designed it from one they could see out the window. This one looks more like a traditional English pylon. Obviously it's HO scale, so it's going to be slightly lower, but that might not be a bad thing depending on the height of my platforms. but obviously it's going to look better than the Hornby ones, so I'm going to have the Hornby ones in the case locally there are shorter pylons coming into town, obviously as they drop the height down to the substation distribution point. So 3 might be enough. Oh no, there's 4. It shows 3 on the image. So there's 4, and I think they were £24. So that's comparable with the Hornby ones, but they look a bit more anglified, let's say. There are other ones on the market. I think there's some of the German ones, some of the continental ones look a little bit different. This came up as dispatched and tracked, but it's actually on 48-hour track shipping. It's from Alexandria, not the one in Greece though. Oh great. The one thing that's worse than chips, someone's paper shreddings. I hope it's packed. No, I don't know. Oh god. Looks like a hamster's took a shit in here. With no protection. Right, well eventually I will get to a slightly damaged, wheel missing Oxford die-cast Warwell. Unfortunately it looks like a piece of the chain's missing, so I can't join them back together. I'll show you there. I was aware of all this. Obviously the wheel's fairly straightforward, although it does look a little bit different than regular wheels, so they're not going to be perfect. There is brake rodding on these as well, so I'm going to have to be careful peeling apart the bogie frames to get a wheel in. I did see someone with some little tool that looked quite handy in America, so doubtless it's not available over here. So the only thing wrong with it really was the fact that, as you can see, no box, no packaging, a broken bit of chain and a missing wheel, and that is it. So it's another Oxford Warwell of the wall pattern, wall department pattern. So my idea is to possibly, we'll see what turns up, but I've got some noddies. I might print a half track or something like that, see what's available on Thingiverse, and have a US half track or something like that. We'll have to wait and see. Got to sort the printer out yet, it needs a new screen and everything on it. Right, so a breakaway. This is turning into a wagon workshop. Looks like my battery's going flat in my vernier. So we have a 10.9 wheel, and the axle is 24.4. Now it's got the solid 3-hole jobby. Got various ones which are a mixture of HO, which sometimes the axles are actually wider than 00, even though we're supposed to be bigger. There's a bag of mixed in here, but they're all dish. Don't see anything exact. Look a bit like the Bachmann ones, but I don't have any of them, so I'm not that rich. What about a Dapol one? That's got 3 holes in it. They're 12.5mm though, that's the problem. Come on. Oh yeah, Mahusif. Size difference there, so that's them out. They look right, but they're too bloody big. I think this is going to be a case of all the wheels I've got, none of them are going to be the right chuffing ones. What we got? What did I say there? do for was 10 something. 10.8. Let's go in the HO box. 10.8. They're even smaller than 9 point something. Right, there's 2 of them. What we're doing? Okay. Dished wheel. And the Achilles bit is going to be axle width 24.5. 24.2. Doesn't sound a lot, but that could be the difference between smooth running and not running. Well, they do run, but they're not spinning really free. Let's compare it to the original. Yeah, that is the difference. 0.3 of a millimetre. They look right, they fit, but they're just dragging slightly more friction on the socket. Right. So HO axles are bigger than 00 axles by 0.3 of a mil. Right. I won't bore you any longer. I'll see what else I've got in me boxes of odds and sodsies. Right, we're back. Don't know if you can hear it or see it. One's a little bit freer than the other. That one's still spinning, still stopped. Exactly the same axle width. The actual wheel on our original is 10.9 and these are 10.7. I think that's get away a bubble. Worst case scenario, if it is visually evident, would be to change the other wheel set as well. So these again are HO wheel sets from China, which are considerably cheaper than Bachmann's offerings or Peter Spares, and free guesses where Peter Spares get his wheels made. So the Spares bags have proved useful. The odd bit of hunting on eBay. There's another disc one in there, but that's a massive one. And I don't think there's anything in here. That's just a bag of oddities. I think there's some in my little Spares boxes as well. But they're 9.4. They were a cheapie. I think they'd been in a shipping container. Well, the axles are rusty, so the Chinese bloke was selling them off cheap. Should have bought more, but they're really probably only any good for American rolling stock with the small wheels. But now I've got quite a bit of American rolling stock. They prove useful. I did write on these, but there's no disappearing. What we got? 14mm wheel on a 25.9 axle. So there is quite a bit of variance. There's no hard and fast. And we did manage, don't curse myself, not to break the detailing. No, that's fortunately this bit's magnetic. I managed to get the chain back. It was a bit of a pain because it's metal chain, not brass. And as soon as I put my pliers or anything there, it just kept sticking to it. But you see, I've managed. I've still got 4 links and then the securing pin. so maybe it just got caught and undone. But I sort of looked at one that looked a little bit iffy, put my 2.5 magnification glasses on, and wished myself luck. Managed to do it relatively easy. I'll just check these brake wheels, because sometimes they do. That brand new one was in the box, if you remember. So now it's back in one piece, albeit that the flanges or the dish insert of the wheel is not painted grey as the other ones is, but I don't think you can tell, can you, that easily? I'm not going to lose any sleep over it anyway. Right, that's that one fixed.